The man who used to walk too fast. Kyle used to walk too fast, too competitively, too imaginatively. One day, years ago, he jokingly wagered his soul in his own head on beating a little old woman with a walker to the corner. He lost. Her face flickered into something ancient and infernal, and she calmly informed him she'd be back for his soul on the 23rd of October 2049. He spent the next 20 years trying to forget. He told himself it was a hallucination, a trick of the light, a stress episode, a weird dream. He stopped walking fast. He stopped making imaginary bets. He stopped tempting fate. But as the date approached, dread crept back in. On the night of the 22nd of October 2049, he looked in the bathroom mirror and saw the demon. Not the old woman, the thing that had worn her like a coat. Tall, sharp, smiling. "Tomorrow," it whispered. 10 o'clock p.m. He panicked. He prayed. It was the first sincere prayer of his life. Poof! A young man in a slightly rumpled suit appeared in the living room. He carried a briefcase. His halo flickered like a faulty street lamp. "Finally," he said. "I've been waiting for you to stop being a stubborn, cynical sausage." "Are you Ariel Quill, angelic advocate, trainee?" He sighed. "You get me because this is a minor case, not like an orgy in a convent or anything serious." He opened his briefcase. "Your prayer triggered a clause of last-minute appeal. The hearing is tomorrow at 8 a.m. At 7:59 a.m. the next morning, the room shimmered. A door appeared. Ariel straightened his tie. "Time to go." They stepped into a courtroom made of clouds and consequence. The judge was a flaming wheel with eyes. A demon stood at the prosecution bench, tall, sharp, sulphur-smelling. "Barry L.Z. Bub," he said with a bow. "Infernal Claims Department." "Your Honour," Barry stated, "the mortal made a verbal contract. Intent is everything. He wagered his soul. He lost. He is mine." Ariel cleared his throat. "Your Honour, the mortal did not give informed consent. He didn't know demons could hear internal monologues. He didn't believe he had a soul. You cannot bargain what you don't believe exists." Barry consulted one of his scrolls. "Precedent, Underworld vs. Thompson, 1884. He muttered, 'I'd sell my soul for a pint.' We won. He got the pint." Ariel protested. "The race was tampered with. The demon disguised himself as a frail mortal to manipulate the outcome." Barry smirked. "Deceit? Your Honour, I'm a demon. Deceit is literally in my job description." Ariel turned to Kyle. "When you made these little races, who were your bets with?" Kyle shrugged helplessly. "No one. The universe? Fate? The powers that be? I didn't expect to actually get paid." Ariel turned slowly to Barry. "Well then, if you claim to be one of the powers that be, you must honour all his other wagers before collecting the winnings of this one." Barry froze. The judge nodded. "Fairness requires consistency." Barry's face glowered. "Oh hell!" Barry unrolled a scroll. It hit the floor. It kept going. He began reading chronologically. It started as a litany of innocent childish desires, simple wants that Barry snapped his fingers to materialise them into being. Gobstoppers, Action Man spacesuits, pencil sets, a Tamagotchi, a pen with a woman on it whose swimsuit disappears when you tilt it. Kyle had the option to veto the prizes if he chose to, things that were no longer relevant or required. Age 7. "If I beat Tommy to the tree, I get a kiss from Amanda Whipple." Sadly, Amanda had died 22 years ago, and Kyle chose to veto a peck on the lips from her corpse. Age 9. "If I beat my brother to the gate, he breaks his leg." Kyle whispered an aside to Ariel. "Client veto," Ariel announced. Barry grumbled. Age 14. "If I reach the bus stop before that dog walker, I get 5 minutes of motorboating Melinda Messenger." Barry consulted a scroll. "Melinda Messenger, currently 89. Ariel asked Kyle, "Client veto?" Kyle paused. "Can't I get her how she was when the bet was made?" Barry and Ariel glanced at each other and both shook their heads. "Veto then," Kyle grumbled. Age 17. "If I beat that cyclist, I get £1 million." A briefcase appeared. "Not much good to me now," Kyle thought, "seeing as I'm dying at 10 p.m. Age 22. If I reach the crossing before that taxi, I get a speedboat. A set of keys materialised. Barry gestured vaguely. It's at the port. Slip 19. Age 35. If I reach the postbox before that delivery man, I get a week in Spain. Plane tickets appeared. And dozens more rattled off in seconds. A pony, a telescope, a skateboard, a chocolate fountain, a date with someone he couldn't remember, Vito. A pet snake, a year's supply of crisps, another telescope. Barry sighed. The pile of winnings grew. Kyle looked overwhelmed. Ariel looked smug. Barry looked flustered. Then Barry reached the bottom of the scroll. He frowned. He read aloud, unable to keep the disgust out of his voice. If I reach the corner before that jogger, there will be peace on Earth. Silence. Ariel's halo flickered. The judge's eyes widened. Barry's smile died. He flipped the scroll. Next line. If I beat that bloke in the red coat, cancer will end forever? Absolutely not. Impossible. Out of scope. Jurisdictional overreach. Intent is intent. He didn't mean it. He meant it at the time. He was 23 and idealistic. The judge spoke. Unfulfilled wagers detected. All linked contracts are void. Barry howled. The scroll burst into flames. The man's soul glowed gently like a toaster on low. Ariel's halo stabilised. A pair of wings sprouted out of his back, small, uneven, but definitely wings. He beamed and gave them a test flap. Promotion! Finally! Barry sulked in a corner, kicking celestial dust. Ariel turned to the man. Congratulations! You're free, just don't commit any major sins before 10 PM, or this whole case would have been for nothing.